Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So someone told me that the Galaxy S23 Ultra was the best phone ever made so far in 2023. And I really don't have an argument for that because this phone gives so much for the money. And I think by now we all know these phones are expensive, but we have to move past that at some point. We're still buying them, so they're obviously not that expensive for some of us. But for a lot of you guys, this is a hefty bill that you get yourself into by financing it monthly, and I hope you end up enjoying your purchase. This is not an investment if you're just a regular person, because this is what's called the depreciating asset. So as far as creators' standpoint, this could possibly be an investment because it is a hefty price tag, but you get your return as you do videos and content creation with it, and you end up basically getting the device at no cost and then actually making money off of the device. So that's why I'm starting with price, because someone said, hey, this is probably the best device brought out in 2023 so far. Now, there are devices that cost less, but they also offer less as well. And I have a huge catalog of devices, and currently devices made in the US, produced in the US, produced for the US, they're limited to certain brands like Apple and Samsung, and Google now has made their mark officially in the US. Now, Google stands more on the, I recommend Google devices to more people because they cost less, they have better cameras in a lot of ways, and the software experience is going to be very stable, and it's just more value when it comes to the price. But for those of us who are out there who don't really look at price too much or don't harp on it too much, one would argue that this is probably the best device that was brought out in 2023, just based on simple things like this, being able to whip a pen out of the bottom of the device and control your device with the pen, doing so much more with the pen, and having it there at your disposal and not having to purchase one outside of a normal purchase. So as you can see here, I have the powder blue. This is the Ultra. I had the powder blue 22, and I switched to the 23 in powder blue for the Ultra this year. And, you know, honestly, Samsung has done a mark with their cameras. Now, I'm actually recording with my iPhone 14 Plus because I actually like the iPhone's cameras still for certain things. Indoors, the iPhones, I don't think they do that great with vlogs. And I've maintained my stance on this, but I think they do great, and they are phenomenal for shooting footage like this of things. People, not so much. But Samsung, on the other hand, I have used this particular set of cameras to record objects, to record people, to record anything you could think of, and it handles itself very well. I'm going to show you something here on a ride out from my house. I'm going to go and pull this up here. Riding from my house, I recorded to and from at night. I recorded a night video of the same thing. Now, here is the phone leaving my home, and I'm driving out and just a normal road in the daytime. This is the device recording. And in that same road, I'll show you what it looks like recording at night. It is phenomenal to see that Samsung produces some beautiful footage. This is the exact same road at night. Absolutely stunning footage coming from these cameras. And this is where when a person makes a statement like, this is the best phone ever made in 2023, Samsung, in fact, is doing more than just bringing options with the S Pen and the software suite. They are, in fact, offering stellar camera quality to people out there, to the masses. And some people just don't take advantage of that. They don't even know that they have all this power in their hand. You could actually shoot a wedding or shoot a special occasion with this particular device. And as I lead into the next segment of this video of why I could possibly concur that this might be the phone of the year so far for 2023, possibly. Not that it offers beautiful hardware and beautiful cameras and beautiful software, but it's more of a total package. And like I was saying, you could actually record just a full-fledged event with this particular device. And a lot of people use a gimbal or something like that. I personally would just grab my Joby tripod because it has adjustable heads, it has a leveler, it has everything on it. And I don't need an external microphone. I can even use director's view. I could do everything possible with this device with no problem. I wouldn't need to do anything extra when using this device when it comes to giving you some content on the channel, or or just a regular person. You don't want to buy a mirrorless camera. You don't want to buy a DSLR. You want to buy a bunch of lenses, because that is where you're going to spend all of your money, not the camera body. You're going to spend all of your money on the lenses. And that is where Samsung has gotten it right with their cameras, by giving you all of these extra lenses at no additional cost, technically. So it's impressive to know that a person can make that statement saying, hey, Jay, I think that these cameras are probably, or this phone is probably the best phone made in 2023. Now, if I go over to more here, this is another reason why I could probably concur that this possibly is, and not from a creator standpoint only, again, from a regular consumer standpoint. A lot of consumers probably are not taking advantage of this situation right here. Go over to more. If you're a regular consumer out there and you have one of the latest software devices, if you have this particular device and you bought it just solely because of the big display, turn on your camera, go into settings, start using portrait video, start using pro video. This is something that should be widely used by people who are not creators. Go into your settings there, change it to UHD 30 frames per second. Get the most out of your camera. You can see your microphone gains and levels there. You are going to get so much more out of your device by taking advantage of pro video and things like portrait video. Samsung is not going to just deliberately tell you all these great features are there. They can sell it to you any way they want to by saying it's the next best thing. But in reality, this is the next best thing from Samsung. And this is one of the greatest things Samsung has actually pushed out. So again, back to that statement of someone telling me, well, Jay, this is probably the best smartphone ever released in 2023. There's a reason why people are saying that. Cameras should be at the top of your list as to why you might want to pick this device up. Now, battery life, as I lead into that next segment, this is another reason why this could possibly be one of the best devices released in 2023 bars. It has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, but they for sure can fit something bigger in here because this device isn't very thick. And I would take a little bit more thickness, a couple more millimeters, just to get 6,000 in there if I needed to, because there are plenty of phones out there that have a 5,000, a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. They're not that much bigger, but I know they will have to add some thickness, but it will be worth it to get way more battery out of this thing. Give us another 500, give us another 1,000, and you can keep the thickness the same, I would think. But this is important. Consumers out there, I hope you're taking advantage of the battery life in your device. This phone has some of the best battery life, I might add. And you'll be amazed, I'm doing this without my glasses. I actually forgot my glasses before I started this video. And let me see if I can find the battery section. Oh goodness. I was getting ready to say I was doing well, but yeah, battery life, folks, is where you're going to you should really take advantage as a regular consumer. Woo, I found it. Battery life is where I feel like I'm really winning when it comes to this device. And if you're a regular consumer, do like I did. Go into settings, go into battery, and optimize it all you want to, just to keep your device running as fresh as possible. And also reboot your device once every other day. That'll keep all your resources, as many resources, free as you can. And it should help some devices have auto restart. Did you guys know that? A lot of devices have auto restart. So I suggest you restart your device and keep it on its toes, man. But the battery life, folks, on this device has been phenomenal for me. I can easily go through a day with no problems. And that's what lots of recording and things like that. I genuinely get over a day in this device. And it's easy for me as a heavier user, I would say, because I tend to use my cameras a lot and there's a lot of media consumption on this device. But For the regular consumer, you might not use your cameras as much. You might do more social media. Well, this again is why this could possibly be one of the best cell phones released in 2023. It has a ginormous battery, and it's actually taking advantage of it. You could actually set your device on your display. If you don't want to have the display at peak, set it right there. Put it at 1080p Full HD Plus. This is going to greatly improve your battery life. But then make sure you have it set to the 120 hertz refresh rate. You know, that's something that you could possibly do. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Put it to 120 hertz and, change it up and then, put it on 1080p. How often do I really need to have my display at 1440p? It doesn't drain the battery as much as I thought it would, but it does drain it a little bit. I have seen the differences with heavy usage of having it at 1440p, and I thought, what other reason? Like, I remember I used to be that person that says, I'm setting it to the max. Well, the options are there if you, in fact, do need to get more battery life out of your device. You can even set it all the way down even lower than that. But another thing that I take advantage of at night is I hit this button right here and I turn on the extended battery mode. Now, as you can see, all my icons are still here. Nothing's wrong. I can still have access to everything. It just dumbs it down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to long press in there and you can see how it's set up. So I have the ultra power saving mode basically turned off. But if I turn that on and then I go in and hit that same button again, it takes away, it goes down to this. And then I could get another 2 days out of this 52%. And I believe this to be true because I've actually charged this phone to 100% before and then used that service with it turned for ultra. And it was phenomenal. It didn't last the 14 days it said it would do at the time, but it did last about 5 to 7. And you still have access to all of your apps. Even though you only see a few of them there, what you do is you go into your task manager and then start typing the app that you want to open. And then let me show you. You have access to all of your apps, even though this is turned on. Now, I can go into the web browser here. And then if I want to get into something else, I go into here and I start typing right here. And then it'll show me all of and then those apps will always be there. So you don't have to turn on this like this. If you want the most battery out of your device, that is a battery tip that I definitely think regular consumers can use. You can definitely go through a weekend with the ultra power saving mode turned on. Now, if you just use it extensively, just bang out a whole bunch of the same thing all day, obviously the battery will not last the 5 to 14 days that the device will tell you it can last, but it is a possibility. It is a possibility that you will definitely get at least 2.5, 3 days if you're heavy on it from 100% with the ultra power saving mode turned on. Now, the statement again is, Jay, I think this device is probably the best device made in 2023. One reason I would also concur with that is the hardware. The hardware on this thing is absolutely premium. Now that they've gone to just flatten out the size, all they've done was flatten out the size a little bit. It just makes for a much better feeling device in the hand. Samsung's hardware has always been somewhat better than a lot of phones on the market, but having this device now boxed off on the sides, it's extremely impressive. It is impressive that all they did was flatten down these sides a little bit, and it makes it feel like a completely different device in the hand. And this is coming from someone who had the 22 Ultra since day one. And having purchased this, man, I was on the fence about, I made videos, you don't need it, I'm only getting the S23 Plus and the S23. And then after I got a loaner unit of this device, I've told this story multiple times, I got a loaner unit of this device and fell in love with it. I was like, I gotta buy this myself. So after buying the cream one, the black one, I said, I'm going to go ahead and settle in and get the blue because those colors just don't do it for me, and I actually like the powder blue. So another great feature about this device is right here. As you can see here, I'm running 2 phone numbers. So a lot of consumers, again, might not be taking. Now, this isn't new or this isn't special to this device. I'm just saying this is another added feature or functionality that if you need to have multiple phone numbers, this device can do it. You can have two eSIMs, or you can have an eSIM and a regular SIM like me. You can do what you want to do. You can do what you want to do. To get into those settings, you just tap on one of those and it goes straight into the eSIM management, and there you are. Now, I'm not going to click on there basically because it'll reveal my phone numbers, and I don't need all these psychos calling me. But nonetheless, that is just another piece of information that a lot of people as regular consumers should take advantage of. Have a backup. I'll try to remember to link Visible down below. You can test out, a great way to test Visible is to activate the eSIM on your device. Now, I actually use Visible now full time because there are some areas where T-Mobile cuts out. So as you can see, I'm running both of them, and I have the advantage of having a phone call from anyone at any time, any service, everywhere I go. Thanks to Verizon's network, it is very stable in comparison to T-Mobile in certain areas. So I'll try to remember to link a link down below, but you can get Visible for $5 for your first month by using that link. Activate the service with an eSIM on your current unlocked Samsung device or Apple device, whatever phone that you have this unlocked that should be compatible in the US. Activate it, and then your service will start immediately. Literally within 10 minutes, I was up and running and had the service $5 for the month. And with that referral link, you guys are helping me out, pay my bill, because I do have to pay the bill. It's not like a sponsored thing from Visible. I got to pay my bill too. So when you use that link, we both get some money, and I pay my bill and you pay your bill. Well, $5, and I get to pay $5. But I highly recommend you guys use Visible, not because I'm trying to get a coupon code or a discount to have you pay my bill. I literally had to start service, and I didn't want to go to Verizon, and I didn't want to do AT&T again, like with Cricket or anything like that. I just wanted to pay $25 a month for unlimited everything, and that's what Visible offers. But when you use the code, you get it for $5. Simply put. Yeah. So being able to run two SIM cards or two networks at the same time, again, more functionality, because it's just something that makes this phone great, and it makes me reach for it all the time. Now, obviously, I do carry multiple devices, but now I'm able to carry three phone numbers. Basically, I didn't like carrying three phones, but now I can carry three phone numbers with no problem. I actually have 4 phone numbers, but I can carry 3 of them with no problem because I can carry 2 devices. And I did is I have my 5G tablet now, or my 4G LTE tablet now, and then 2 phones. But I got 3 phone numbers and a data tablet all in my bag. It's just like that. I love it. So functionality and features of the software is always going to be smooth with Samsung. They have been working their butt off and keeping up security patches and updates on this device. I am currently up to date on the May security patch, and we're in the month of May at the recording of this video. Now, it's strange because all of my Samsung devices, I have multiple. I have the Fold and I have the other devices. They've been getting the software updates before my Google devices. It doesn't matter. I think that's just a plot or, a twist to try to get people to switch to the Samsung phones. But I don't suggest a person switch brands just because one's getting updates faster than the other. I still prefer stock Android, and I still recommend the Google Pixel if you want to experience what Android really feels like and what it should feel like. But I'm not going to take away from Samsung in their buttery smooth software experience. I'm not going to do it. This is just a bonus right here to me. You can use the pen and all the features here. But they also have this side menu right here that you don't even have to, come on, troll me. You don't even need to use the S Pen for this feature, but you can. But I don't think you'll need to. But they have the side menu where you can have anything on here and use any of these apps at a quick snap. Boom, you're done. Samsung software has gotten so much better over the years. I'm an original OG Samsung Knight. I am a Knight when it comes to Samsung. I've been rocking with Samsung long before some other people have. And I remember there's very few of us that rocked out with the Galaxy Note when it first launched. If you check my channel, I've been doing Samsung. Remember the Galaxy Mega? Man, I've been doing so many Samsung phones. I've always liked Samsung software. Even back then, it was great, but it has gotten to the point where it's just solid. They're doing their thing, so you got to give props where it's due. This is feature-packed software, which is maybe why so many people flock to the Samsung experience. The watch, I've got the watch, the earbuds, everything. It's easy to roll with Samsung nowadays, because there used to be an argument that a lot of people, oh, Apple has the best ecosystem, blah, blah, blah. There are plenty of other companies out there like Google and Samsung, and even LG was rocking hard at one point. They have very nice ecosystems, but you just got to be willing to give them a chance. And Samsung, to me, in the United States, has proven themselves. They've just done it. So when a person makes a comment like, man, Jay, I think the S23 Ultra is the best phone made so far in 2023, how does one combat that? It's got stellar hardware, one of the most beautiful displays ever, and their displays are in other devices. Their cameras are in other devices. The battery life is on point. You've got the S Pen suite. You've got the One UI suite of software. It's just incredible. It is running the latest internals that the Snapdragon has to offer. It's just a great package. And then the hardware, it's stellar. This is on point. This is what a consumer should be looking for. This is it. So I say to the person who said, Jay, the S23 Ultra is probably the best phone released in 2023. I really don't disagree. I think it's great. And I have a lot of devices. But one of my go-tos is the S23 Ultra. It's just a fact. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Why do you think a person would say the S23 Ultra is the best phone in 2023 so far? I mean, to me, the hardware, the software, the cameras, the battery, the experience, the S Pen, the everything has been phenomenal for me. And that is why I keep going back to the S23 Ultra, that is. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let's chop it up in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.